Hello everyone. The Qitari tribal quests start out from this concerned mother in the Rak'tika Greatwood over in Slitherbow. This requires a gatherer class to start it. In this case, I'm botanist. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk to this concerned mother, see what she's worried about. The steward's note. The woman before you looks off into the distance with a visibly fretful expression. Oh, hello there. You're the sweet young lady staying with Master Batoya, are you not? I've been meaning to thank you for looking after my boy that one time. His name is Valen. You remember him, don't you? He's always running around with his friend Quinfort. You know, the one who so much enjoys hearing the sound of his own voice. Why, just moments ago, he rushed in here, then went dashing off, shouting about how he'd made a discovery of staggering importance over in Fanau. Valen, bless his heart, went running after him. I know these parts aren't as dangerous as they once were, and Quinfort apparently has made some friends among the Vis, but still, I can't help but worry. Would you be so kind to follow after them and make sure Valen doesn't get into anything over his head? You can tell him his mother sent you. Well, I guess we gotta go meet up with the goofy guy again who's gonna save, what was it again? The Great Worm or something? There's something goofy with like the Great Worm that ended up being a, where is it? The minion, which one was it? This guy. The Great Serpent of RONKA. Yes, Great Serpent. Anyway, let's head on over to Fanau and talk to Quinfort and what was the other guy's name? Valen. Let's talk to Quinfort and Valen. How many times must I tell you, Valen? When the will of the wood summons me, I must heed its call. For the last time, Quinfort, would it kill you to actually explain yourself before you go dashing around the forest like a madman? What nonsense do you speak, Valen? The Keeper of Whispers would never be so insolent as to keep the gods waiting when they would share with me their wisdom. Why, the mere notion is preposterous, blasphemous even. He's so... Wait a minute. Brilliant. I'll check that after the conversation. Brilliant. Whatever are you doing here? My mother sent you? Dear heavens, I'm sorry for dragging you into this. As you might suspect, Quinfort's ranting and raving about the will of the wood again. When he ran off shouting about prophecies, I simply had to follow along to make sure he didn't get himself into any trouble. The Vis said we were welcome at any time, of course, but would it kill the man to be a bit more circumspect? Wait, what is this? Circumspect. Yep, I gotta Google that one. Circumspect. Heedful of circumstances and potential consequences. Prudent.
Circumspect.
It's probably a bit loud for you guys, but... yes, circumspect. Oh, that reminds me. Whatever happened to that squirmy little fellow that Quinfort, for whatever ungodly reason, believes that to be the Great Serpent of RONKA? Does it still travel with you, or did it get swished somewhere along the way? What ignorance is this, Valen? The Divine Protector has returned to slumber in its nest deep in the heart of Rak'tika, from which it speaks to me in my dreams even now. He's right here, dude. Oh, great one! It is truly you! Returned to grace your loyal servant with your presence in this time of need. Truly, the wood has answered my pleas. If the great serpent has been with you all this time, Beryllian, I can only imagine what sort of dreams he's been having. And yet, as skeptical as I am, the beasts seem to put stock in his visions. If there's even a hint of truth to them, who knows what we're in for? Wahaha! I know, my good friend, for I have seen it 1,000,000 times in my vision. This venerable forest is on the verge of entering a new age of harmony. For the great serpent shall let out a mighty cry, and in so doing summon forth they who did serve great RONKA in times of eld. Verily, the arrival of the heirs to wisdom ancients and true is nigh at hand. Now is the time. We must follow where the great serpent leads, and in doing so, lay claim to a great future. And he's off again. Quinfort, not again. I'm sorry to impose, Beryllian, but would you mind helping me go after him? There's only one path forward through the forest, so he shouldn't be too hard to find. Anyway, let's keep going. And follow after what I forgot his name already. Follow after the great prophet. Look, over in the flower bed. Someone's there. Oh, over there. Look in the wrong direction. A rat who speaks? Who are you? And why do you trespass in our sacred forest? Answer me, or you will be dining on rat stew this night. Ye gods! Oh, do have mercy! I assure you, yes, most assuredly, that we come in peace. Put down your arms. If my visions speak true, and I have never known them to speak otherwise, this mousy fellow and his diminutive companion are none other than descendants of the proud Ronkan tribe of old. You are from Slitherbow, yes? One of the so-called Knights Blessed? There you are. I swear, Quinford, you take pleasure in driving me mad. Forgive me, my friend here. He simply cannot control himself sometimes. I promise you I'll give him a stern talking to when we get home. Now, Quinford. Friends of the ally of RONKA, are you? You are quite bold, or quite foolish, to rush forward without spear point of a V-setter, as you did. And who or what is this one? I have not seen him nor any of his ilk before, and yet you say he is a descendant from a proud tribe of RONKA? Most assuredly so, for I did foresee his coming in a vision granted to me by none other than the great serpent itself. What? Three? Look, Father, there's two of them. Kirin? Here? Another serpent? Yeah, it's more surprising to see another serpent than another one of the beast tribes. What is this? The great serpent travels with you as well? Curious. How very curious indeed. most auspicious encounter this is, for a friend of the Great Serpent is a friend of ours, yes? Pray, my good sir, do enlighten us on how as to the name of your most ancient and venerable tribe. Ahem, we are the Qitari. You call us an ancient and venerable tribe, and I cannot deny that we are very much that. The Qitari? That is a name I have heard from my elders, and yet I was told that the last Qitari vanished 100 years ago. Those of us born after the flood never paid the stories much heed, but you say that we truly stand before a Qitari in the flesh? However it may be, it is clear that the ally RONKA and her friends mean us no harm. Let us put down our arms. Father and I have come in search of a great architect of our past. Okay, it's a kid who can't pronounce artifact. Great stones buried deep in a cave by my father's father's father. How many fathers were there again, father? Kurl, have you forgotten your manners? It would be untoward not to introduce ourselves to our honored new friends. I am Qitari Natal of the Qitari, and this is my foolish child, Qitari Natal. Do forgive us for our impropriety. Yes, do forgive us for our impropriety. For nigh on a century, our tribe has made its home in the shadow of the light, deep in the forests on the far side of Qitari Rival, by the rushing waters of Rak'tika Falls. We did not always hide in the darkness. This place we now stand was once our home. Then came the fateful day when the skies were flooded with light. Facing certain doom, our forefathers fled the forest, but not long before a band of the bravest gave their lives to store away our greatest treasures for safekeeping, with the hope that one day our children's children might unearth them anew. These are the artifacts of which my son spoke. The Qitari Stale. Mighty stone monoliths engraved with the accumulated knowledge of our people in its entirety. Of course, it is precisely as I saw it in the visions the Great Serpent bestowed upon me. A proud and ancient tribe of scribes and scholars, the stewards of knowledge of ancient RONKA. Oh, you are most insightful, my friend. Indeed, we were once known as the Stewards of Note, a title that fittingly describes both our duties as keepers of written knowledge and the surpassing aptitude with which we pursue the task. Our ancestors served proudly as scribes and scriveners for many a generation of RONKA emperors. It is a role that came quite naturally to our people, for you see, we are not blessed with the longer lifespan of your kind. Thus, from our earliest days, we have been most meticulous about recording the happenings and learnings of our lives in precise and painstaking detail. The Qitari Stale, or Steel, it's like Stale. I know that word. I've heard the word before. Or more specifically, the carvings and etchings that grace their surface represent the summation of all the knowledge and wisdom we have acquired over the years. They represent, one might say, the collective memory of our people passed down through the ages from generation to generation. Long have we dreamed of returning here to search for the stones, and reclaiming our legacy. And yet, Nasty, nasty sin-eaters, and worse, stood in our path, making the journey far too perilous to even attempt. Then one day, the skies turned dark. I trembled in terror, but next thing I knew, the great serpent was hopping and squirming beside me. He told me that a path through the Raval had been cleared, and we were free to go home at last. Precisely, and so it was that my boy and I received the blessing of our fellow Qitari, and became the first of our kind in generations to return to this part of the Greatwood. Unfortunately, we were immediately set upon by all sorts of nasty creatures, forcing us to retreat and ponder our course of action. Where we came upon you and threatened you at spear point. Pray forgive us, allies of RONKA. We knew not who you were, nor all you have suffered to arrive here. You intended to remain here in the Greatwood to search for these stale. I gotta look up. It's like stele or something like that. Steel. Okay, so steel is like a. It's the same as steel. Would you say?
Steely.
Steely. That's right. Okay, so it's a stele. The plural, which is what I thought it was. But it's essentially a. I forgot to actually read what the definition was. It's an upright stone or slab with an inscribed or sculptured surface. Sculptured surface, used as a monument or as a commemorative tablet in the face of a building. Yeah, that's right. I know that from, I think it's Gravekeeper Steely. A Yu-Gi-Oh card. Anyway. It's probably Stele. I'll say it like that. Stele of yours, was it? Worry not. We shall tell all the Fanao of you that you were friends and not to be harmed. And with that, we must be on our way. Go in peace. Dear me, but that was a close one, wasn't it? I was all but certain Chakarl and I were going to end up skewered. Were it up to me, I would have left the boy behind for his safety, but he is ever a curious one, and would hear nothing of it. I'm not a child anymore, father. I'm all of 3 summers. 3? Why, when I was 3, I could barely walk straight. Oh ho! I do not doubt that is so, good sir. But for our people, the oldest whom would be lucky to see 20 summers. Chakurl here is almost a Qitari grown. But enough about this. If I might change the subject, you know your way around the Greatwood, yes? I have reason to believe that our forefathers buried the stele in a cavern that extends deep into the mountains near the Oxdal Gap. Perhaps you might be willing to... Come, father, we must follow him. But of course, it all makes sense now. It is the great serpent who guided you here to us, and now, together, we must heed its clarion call. Say no more, great steward of RONKA. It would be our honor to assist you in your noble cause. That is most kind of you, good sir. In that case, pray allow me to oblige. Let us follow where the Great One leads. This is really goofy. But I mean, it's mainly because of, I forgot his name again. Quinfort? I think that's his name. Mainly because he's so over the top and extra. Oops, there's a rock there. I didn't see that. Wonderful. His vision actually proved true. Now I'll never hear the end of it. The mere sight of the divine protector humbling itself so as to crawl on the ground that its loyal servant may rediscover and reclaim their proud past. Why, it nigh brings a tear to my eye. He's so over the top. Father, could this be the place? Let us see now. The mark on the cave's entrance appears to be an ancient Ronkan ward. This is promising, and yet problematic. Do allow me to explain it. We Qitari worship Oxdalan, god of the dead and the world below. Our forebears no doubt believed that if they sealed away the stele deep within the bowels of the land, Dalan himself would watch over them and keep them safe until the day their descendants returned. Most fascinating! Your knowledge of Ronkan tradition is impressive indeed. However do you manage to know so much despite your chronicles of history being lost to you for so long? Many ruins can be found near Rak'tika Falls. Within the woods we have called home since the flood. We have made an effort to explore and excavate them as best we could, that our Ronkan roots would not be entirely forgotten. Most admirable goal, and one near and dear to my own heart as well. For you see, I am one of the Knights Blessed, who traveled to these parts after the flood. I, too, have a deep personal interest in the beliefs and traditions of the ancient civilization that once flourished here. In fact, I have done extensive research looking into my own ancestors, and was pleased to discover that I can trace my lineage back to none other than the great sage Dwalt himself. And Berlin here is a true ally of Ronka. Why, as the V's tell it, her coming was foretold by the last emperor himself. The descendants of Ronka and their allies reunited across the years? Oh, joyous day! This meeting must truly be a gift from the Great Serpent. I can vouch for Berillion here. She is the very woman who drove the Light Warden from these lands. As for the descendants of the great sage, what's-his-name, I'd suggest you let at least half of his ramblings go in one ear and out the other. Could it truly be? But yes, our hero stands before us. We watched your battle in the Reval from the shadows. The moment you struck down that beast of light, we knew that a great age was nigh. Oh, never have I seen such gallantry and valor. Stodenod. I saw the battle too. Never have I seen such valiantly and galor. At any rate, my good sirs and madam, I am keen to begin the excavation, but I fear it won't be so simple. The warding seal here bars our entrance, and we will have to find a way to break it if we hope to proceed. If what I have gleaned from my research is correct, this will require an object of immense arcane power, a relic that will speak to the seal and convey the Qitari have returned to claim what is ours, an object imbued with the mystical energies of the forest itself. Yes, an object with the glow of the Greatwood, as you say, Father. I shall find it for you. Your enthusiasm is admirable, Chikaro. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. This is a perilous place, and I have no intention of seeing you get snatched up by some terrible beast. And so I turn to the hero of the Reval and the son of Dwal. My good sirs and madam, might you know of someone who could aid us in our search? I mean, I could. I'm a botanist, right? lucky day! Clearly you are not merely a hero on the battlefield, but a woman of many talents indeed. We would be ever so indebted to you if we could impose upon you just this once. Yes, we would be most indebted, my good sir. Or was it madam? Father, I can never tell which is which. One that's got big inflatable balloons is probably a madam. Enough prattling, Chakarl. We must find a way to open this portal at once, that we might summon our fellow stewards here and begin searching for the Steely in earnest. O ally of RONKA, Qitari Natal of the Qitari bows down and beseeches you. Will you lend us our aid and help my people reclaim our long-lost legacy? I promise you the debt will not go unpaid. I realize I ask much of you, and so soon after we met. Needless to say, pray take as much time as you require to consider our offer. Should you be inclined to offer your strength and wisdom to us, just say the word. I mean, I gotta do this to unlock it. I am happy to greet you again, my good madam. What say you? Have you given any thought to my entreaty? I mean, there is apparently a choice in this quest line at some point that changes the appearance of the camp, but I don't think that's the choice. Powerfully spoken, Berlian. Truly, this shall mark a new dawn in the annals of Ronkan history. As the great sage is my wisdom, I say, let the Qitari rise to glory anew. We are truly in your debt, ally of RONKA. I entrust the vital task of finding an object with the glow of the Greatwood to you. As for where to begin your search, leave that to me, my long-snouted friend. Did you mayhap notice that the serpent your dear Chakarl brought along has a rather distinctive pattern of scales on his most exquisite body? I have reason to believe that this pattern will indeed lead us to that which we seek. Hark unto the serpent's cry, and know that the points of light that glow amidst the stripes represent those precise spots where the aether that flows through the Greatwood is most densely concentrated. Behold, here in the northwestern reaches of the blind forest of Ixmaya, conveniently marked as by this simply slimy little scar, we can see that what is doubtless a convergence of sorts. If anywhere it is there we will find a specimen of sufficient power to breach the seal. Oh, if the son of Dwattel says it is so, then surely it behooves us to pay heed. When you return with the relic, pray let Chakarl see it at once. I would have my boy gain first-hand knowledge of the wisdom of his forefathers. Well, let's go pick up the item I need. Looks like it's over here. Yeah, Stewards of Note. I forget what the this tribe is called in the source. I think they also start with a Q, but it's a different sound, or it's a different name. Of course, it's a different name. File of Ancient Amber. Is it hidden? Nope. Probably just need to keep going until I find it. Oh, it just says Ancient Amber. Okay, I don't have to get anything specific. Okay, that's all I needed. I'm just overthinking it. Let's head on back and give them the amber they need. Okay, got the amber. Why, it's beautiful. Oh, thank you, sir, madam. Or was it madam, sir? Now, father says I need to simply point it at the door and... Something like a bottomless pit. My word! It opens! Oh, splendid, splendiferous! Splendiferous! Indeed! Look, father, the seal is broken. It has, Chikara, it has. And with this, after 100 years, we stand on the verge of reclaiming our legacy. But our task has only begun. There will be digging, yes, much digging, and delving. We must relay the triumphant tidings to our tribesmen and summon them here to assist in the excavation. Yes, from this day, the stewards will not rest until a new page in the annals of Qitari history has been writ. Don't worry, father. I will work as hard as any steward to reclaim our legacy. Legacy? Oh, Sir Madam Brilliant, you will help us in our quest, yes? Yep, that's me, Sir Madam. Sealed tight for a century, the door to the ancient cave now lies open, and the Qitari excavation effort can begin in earnest. Good Brilliant, you must meet my mother. Mother will be running the camp and seeing that everything is in order. Isn't that right, Mother? Yes? My son speaks true. Reclaiming our history is about more than grand discoveries of ancient artifacts. There is much that must be done to ensure we can go about our daily lives in this place. And so I would call upon you for aid from time to time, if you would not be so disinclined to help us. Stoic nod. Will the stewards' excavation effort succeed? Will the lost stele of the Qitari return to the light? That young Chakar must one day know the wisdom of his ancestors? Or are our ancient secrets destined to stay forever shrouded in darkness? Only the gods know.